and action. This is Guillermo del Toro's own clapper from Pan's Labyrinth, El Labyrinthino del Fauno. And what I love about this, besides the fact that he signed it, of course, and you get all like, this is still some of the original writing from when they were shooting, but this is mentioned in the catalog, but it's so wonderful. Director, Pinche Angelino, which is fucking little angel, and Pinche Manos de Piedra, which is fucking hands of stone for the DP. Kind of just an actual film artifact from Pan's Labyrinth, which I just think, I mean, the art is incredible. Wait till you see the art we've got, but this is just pretty amazing. This is a book, a children's book, or young adult's book that Guillermo did years after the movie with Cornelia Funke called Pan's Labyrinth, The Labyrinth of the Faun. And check out this piece of art by Alan Williams. This is a beautiful full pencil drawing. You got the pale guy with the eyes, the fairy, everything. And you get this copy. And there is the actual art. There's your art right there, which is pretty amazing. This is the Razor and the Knife chapter. And there, of course, is Guillermo not only signed it, but drew a little sketch of himself saying, "Now you own it." And there's a little tear coming out of his eye because this no longer is hanging in Bleak House. There's also incredible art from the movie itself. Let's go take a look at that. I'm here with Joe Maddalena. Joe, an incredible selection, not only of like storyboard stuff, which we'll get to, but also just the concept work, like the things that are there before there's really, as the movie is coming together. And this is a pretty special piece. What do we got here?
Well, first, the World of Pan's Labyrinth, I think it's his best movie, personally. It's my number one Guillermo movie, one of my top 10 favorite movies of all movies. This was the hardest thing for him to part with. Yeah, because when we started the Pan's Labyrinth journey, we had this.
That was the one?
That was the one.
Okay.
We literally had this one. And then we had a second one that's very similar in a frame over there. That was the end of Pan's Labyrinth. And month
because it's so personal to him.
Personal.
Because
he's never released anything from Pan's Labyrinth, and there's nothing more sacred to Guillermo than the artwork. This is the most sacred thing he owns, is the artwork. And one day he called me and he said, "I have a discovery." And because he had moved so many times, he found this container, and in there was this ream of Pan's Labyrinth artwork.
Okay.
So we're sitting on his couch, and he's showing me. He would show me one and take one back.
Pull back.
Because he didn't want me to see, because he knew I'd want it. So it was this funny thing. So finally, he handed me the folder. He goes, "You pick." So I went through and I picked some, and then it became this interesting thing because him and I sat there. Well, we need the girl. But we need the labyrinth. And then he's like, "Wait," and he pulls this out. He goes, "This is the thing nearest and dearest to my heart. This hung in my office when we were in pre-production. This is what the mill was supposed to look like. Budgetary cuts. You got
some of it. You got this. Yeah.
But this was probably, other than when we first talked about his Cyclops model from Ray Harryhausen, this was probably the second most difficult thing for him to part with. And even the day when we put this into the auction, that was the one day he was sad.
Really?
Like I felt like I left the house. It was a little bit like maybe it crossed a bound, because it was like I called him, "Do you want this back?" And he's like, No. This is just really difficult for me. And again, I can express to you that we would sit for hours discussing this, and then and again, for you, to give you all a representation of his life. So it's more about, it's money. I understand it's a commercial thing, but this is something where he's truly sharing his soul with
This is a piece he looked at every day of Pan's Labyrinth.
and inspired him to make the movie.
And by the way, not to take nothing away from this mill piece, which is incredible, as you said, you got to have the labyrinth.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is gorgeous. It's incredible. Just to be able to see the labyrinth from Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
This work in here, just incredible.
It's the main corridor.
Yep.
And we have a second version of that in the auction. But again, Guillermo's planning camera shots. So as he's developing these, he's figuring out.
He's thinking about the height and
Yes.
why he wants the height. He's thinking about the sort of side.
How he's going to light
yes,
it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, you know, where they're going to run. Is there enough room?
Right.
Can he
And
get
by
it?
the way, not to.
Yeah, there
Oh,
you
it's
go.
stuck there, but look at that.
Yeah.
That's
This.
It doesn't.
How can he get this shot from which
Right.
column? How can he address the light to get the perfect, you know, imagery of her? How can he have everything in this is thought out. This isn't
Right.
luck. He's not rolling a camera.
Everything in that is there,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
Incredible,
Yeah.
and what it represents, and then
And
obviously,
this is truly beautiful.
Truly-
Oh, let's not. I'm not going to touch that because it's not in anything.
no, we can look at it for a
you
second.
sure?
Yeah.
I'll let you.
It's production art. We can be a little,
I'll
you know.
let you touch it.
But again,
yeah.
you know, this is the time where, you know, the opening of the door, you know, it's again just to have
The opening of the door, also, by the way, ever so slightly, not exactly, but a little bit of like, I mean, again, you can look at this and bring whatever you want to it. A little bit of Dungeons and Dragons,
Alice in
a little bit of
Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
a little bit of Lord of the Rings with
Yeah.
the riddle of the door. I mean, just, God,
Can you
yeah.
imagine how good his Hobbit would have been?
yeah.
Right.
That's a whole other podcast. Yeah.
Right. But just like,
Yeah. And now let's check out these storyboards. Just were killing me. This one, sorry, up here in particular was a real
Yeah,
thing. Go
yeah,
for
no,
it.
no,
Okay.
but- and
this
this
one is
again-
this is probably my favorite piece of the Pan's Labyrinth pieces, just because this storyboard of the girl and the toad on that sort of that quest is probably. I mean, I know the guy with the eyes and the
yeah.
fingers is great too, but I love this was probably my favorite. I don't know, just it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful section of the film.
and then these
Yeah.
we picked these out. So we'd gone through that part, and then as we were developing this auction, he called me and said, what am I going to do with the storyboards? And I said, it's up to you. He goes, I don't know if I want to sell these. And I'm like, you ultimately have to make the decision.
Right.
He goes, well, pick out what you think I should sell. And I'm like, well, I want to pick out what makes this a story.
Right.
So we settled on what I thought.
Right. So we
were
have this is an incredible sequence
Yeah.
that we don't have represented.
key
Yeah.
elements of the fawn. Key elements where you're meeting like major moments.
The
You know,
fawn here
in
in
the
this
Pale Man's
storyboard.
lair.
I mean, like I said, I'm partial to the toad, but you really,
really
it doesn't
important.
get more Pan's Labyrinth than this. Yeah.
And this is kind of when we locked Pan's
Right.
Labyrinth, we would move on to the next film, and that's really literally what we did. And then,
When you locked Pan's Labyrinth, did you start to think, I think there'll be an auction maybe? Was that at least encouraging to you? Like, maybe this is going to happen? Or there's so much more to go?
there would have been like if he had called me and said I don't want to do this, I would have sent everything back. So it was just
By the way, we still got a lot of days till September 26th. The
Yeah.
phone. If I were you, I'd unplug my phone.
He's
but yeah.
busy. He's busy. I think he's watching every day. He texts me every day about the auction. He's curious. This is fascinating for him. But again, then you have this is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Just so beautiful, and so much. Even in these storyboards, just the character work, just in the faces. You know, there's obviously there's physical action, but also just that moment of capturing.
This is
Yeah.
where you can tell he's a collector.
Yeah.
Because this is an art collector driving like
Yeah.
like there's like almost
Make
this
them
motive.
bigger and finish them because I'm keeping them all.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a motive behind all
Right.
of this.
These are going in my flat file. They're not going
Right.
back.
And
Yeah.
I think again, this
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
This is the inside, a little sort of interior of the mill. I think that's the mill,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely, inside
That's
the mill.
beautiful. And the chair, the throne with forgive me,
Pale
for
Man.
the Pale Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So an early version of Pale Man, I
Yeah.
guess there. But just you can see the ornate work of what becomes, into that sort of chair throne thing.
Yeah, and
It's
the
just
fact that
wow.
you have the Pale Man. So we had
Yeah.
another version of this just with the chair. So I said to him, "Do you have one with the Pale Man?" I thought he was going to throw me out of the house. And he's like, he'd go in typical Guillermo fashion, and we'd spend an hour discussing this and the merits of like, do I release one of these? And it was the constant thing. In him, this has never been,
Right.
it's not out there. In this
What do you think the chances are that a mysterious bidder with the last name Del Toro will be bidding and winning a lot of these auctions and having them shipped to Santa Monica?
I'll disconnect his phone. We have a pact on this one that like
He's not allowed to bid?
no, it's just like he understands like we're either doing this or not
Right.
doing this. Like it's like he needs to do this
Right.
for many
I
reasons.
agree.
Yeah.
but I kind of hope he calls one buddy, like calls up Spielberg or something and says, will you just bid? I can't give up that mill piece. Just win the mill piece back for me. The rest is good.
Right,
just buy it for me. September 26th, check out the rest of Bleak House and all our other videos, but go to ha.com, download a catalog, check it all out. Guillermo del Toro's Bleak House.